Good morning. I'm too short. Can you see me? I'm here. Good morning. I feel great standing before you today, and thank you for inviting me here. I'm pleased and happy to see you and to see Sri Lanka, your very beautiful country. It's very, very green ups in the sky. See, I'm here to present to you the protection and promotion of welfare of Filipino migrant workers. As you know, the Philippines is endowed with manpower resources, possessing quality skills that are very much demanded overseas. We have found Filipino workers in agricultural land of Hawaii and in American facilities in Guam, Thailand, and Indochina at the turn of the 20th century. So their numbers grew very fast because of the oil crisis in the Middle East and the construction boom in oil-rich countries. This number grew from thousands, a handful, and then it grew in hundreds, then later on in millions. That is why last year there were 1,800,000 Filipinos who departed from the Philippines for overseas employment. And as this number grew, the issue of protection is always there. And you will notice that from the time the Overseas Employment Program was institutionalized in 1974 with the passage of the Labor Code of the Philippines and up to 2010, the laws that had been passed from 1974 to 2010, they're all geared or aimed towards the protection of overseas Filipino workers. In 1974, there were 3 agencies created to manage labor migration. One specializes in the deployment of seafarers. This is for National Seamen's Board. The other one specializes in the deployment of land-based workers. This is handled by Overseas Employment Development Board. And the Bureau of Employment Services handles the monitoring of private recruitment agencies' participation in the Overseas Employment Program. But in 1982, these 3 agencies were dissolved, and another agency was created. So the birth of the Philippine Overseas Employment Administration, which I represent today. Okay, so this agency, Philippine Overseas Employment Administration, acted as a single body to manage labor migration in the Philippines and to promote and monitor overseas employment of OFWs. In 1995, Republic Act number 8042 was enacted to further protect the workers throughout the whole cycle of migration. And the latest law, passed in 2010, Republic Act 122, amended RA 8042. And you can see that one of the salient features is the enhanced or strengthened worker protection. Another salient feature is the certification requirement, meaning that the Department of Foreign Affairs should issue a certification that the host country that where our OFWs will be deployed should have labor legislation or social legislations that are aimed to protect the rights of the migrant workers. So we cannot deploy to countries which are not certified by the Department of Foreign Affairs. Another salient feature is the provision for repatriation of distressed workers and the provision of compulsory insurance coverage for agency hired workers. Now, the POA, when it was established, has this mandate and core functions: industry regulation, employment facilitation, and workers' protection. All of the programs in place to fulfill these functions are all protective measures at different stages of migration. For instance, in industry regulation, So under pre-migration, we have the overseas Filipino workers, even before they think of migrating, they're already protected. In what way? Under industry regulation, because we are mandated to regulate the participation of the private recruitment agencies, we have licensing system. We issue license only to qualified private recruitment agency. And these agencies should have their employers accredited. They should have negotiated for the best terms and conditions for the OFWs. And they should assume joint and solidary liability with the employers. And they should deploy the workers under the approved standard employment contract, where there is the provision for guaranteed minimum wage, guaranteed transportation, free transportation costs to and from the Philippines, and guaranteed food and accommodation. And these private recruitment agencies should provide mandatory insurance coverage for agency-hired workers pursuant to the new law that I've mentioned, the Republic Act number 122. And these private recruitment agencies further are restricted on collection of placement fees. They cannot collect placement fees from household service workers. Neither they cannot collect placement fees from seafarers. And also, if their recruitment is for countries who are practicing no fee charging policy, like Canada, UK, Ireland, and Netherlands, they cannot collect from the workers that they will deploy to those countries. If they violated our rules, the private recruitment agencies face disciplinary action. Their licenses may be cancelled or suspended depending on the gravity of their violations. Okay, consistent with the objectives of this employment facilitation, we have accreditation registration system for foreign principals and employers to document the employers to which the workers are to be deployed. And we approve the manpower requests of these employers. So the private recruitment agency cannot deploy to any employer except for the accredited principals, and the manpower requests of these principals are duly approved first by POEA. We also document our workers before they depart from the Philippines. Their employment contracts based on standard employment contracts are evaluated and processed. We issue overseas employment certificate. This is a document which should serve as travel exit clearance. No OFW will depart from the Philippines without an overseas employment certificate. This overseas employment certificate is proof that they have passed legal way and they are protected by our government. As we do this, we also conduct market research to gather information on labor migration, and we pursue bilateral, regional, multilateral agreements. We also have this another facility, the government facility, which is engaged in recruitment of workers only on a government-to-government arrangement. Meaning, if the government of, say, South Korea, they would just like to recruit workers from the Philippines under the employment permit system of Korea, and they do not like, under employment permit system, to deal with private recruitment agencies. They want to deal only with the government. So that is available for our overseas Filipino workers as part of employment facilitation to them. Okay. And under workers' protection, as I've said, the workers are already protected even before they think of overseas employment, because we have this pre-employment orientation seminar. This is conducted nationwide in coordination with local government units, with NGOs, with church-based groups, with other government agencies, and with the academe. this pre-employment orientation seminar offers comprehensive information on overseas employment. It offers discussion on the factors that the worker, the job seeker, should consider whether to make a reasonable decision, whether to go or not to go with overseas employment. It offers, the pre-employment orientation seminar offers discussion also on the gains and pains of overseas employment, the legal requirements, the documents that they have to produce, and the procedure that will be involved, and the costs that they will bear in seeking overseas employment. So they are given so much information that would help them to make reasonable decision whether to go to overseas employment or not. And this seminar supports the anti-illegal recruitment seminar, which aims to present to the workers the modus operandi of illegal recruiters so that they will not be duped by unscrupulous illegal recruiters. Now, for the household service workers, in 2006, POA came up with the Household Workers Reform Package. This package mandates that the age requirement for the household workers will be 23 years old, and the guaranteed wage should be $400 per month. We also require the domestic helpers to be prepared for their work overseas. They are required to get Certificate of Competency issued by TESDA. TESDA is a National Skills Authority. They are also required to attend the comprehensive pre-departure orientation on language and cultural familiarization training for them to complete their preparation for overseas employment as household service workers. Now, all of our workers, before they depart, they are required to attend the pre-departure orientation seminar, country-specific pre-departure orientation seminar, wherein the culture, the social mores and traditions of those countries, and some travel tips, some practical tips on health and safety. We give them the numbers, telephone numbers and address of the Philippine Embassy, give them the information on where and how and where to find help during when the need arises, and the terms and conditions of their contracts are explained. Okay, this arbitration of cases, this is available, and the workers are free to access complaints mechanism in case there are violations during the recruitment stage. They can file administrative cases against the private recruitment agency before POEA. POEA provides free legal services and conciliation services to the complainants. Okay, during migration, how do we protect the workers? The workers are monitored by the private recruitment agencies who deploy them. And these private recruitment agencies have this mandate to initiate the repatriation of the workers when the need arises pursuant to those laws. On site, we have Philippine overseas labor offices posted at 37 areas in Asia, in the Middle East, in South Africa, in US. So 37 posts available. Who manages the Filipino Resource Center 24/7, giving information and welfare assistance to our OFWs on site. They provide also legal assistance for recruitment violation cases. They can also process overseas employment certificate for returning workers to the Philippines for vacation. They provide mandatory repatriation, or they assist in the mandatory repatriation of underage workers, because underage workers should not have been deployed overseas because it is a violation of RA 8042. And there are other services that could be sought from the Philippine Overseas Labor Office. I've said this, the workers, when they come home, they can avail of access mechanisms for complaints, either in the police or for criminal case against recruiter for human trafficking. Criminal case against recruiter for human trafficking, or the POEA, or the Labor Court and LRC for money claims against the private recruitment pursuant to JSL if there is money claims. Yes, this one, post-migration protection. Any recruitment agency who were found to be violating our rules will face disciplinary action of suspension or cancellation of license. Now, our protection to the workers extend up to the time that the workers return to the Philippines for good to join the Philippine national economy. We have these reintegration programs available: formation of investors and entrepreneurs, creation of enterprise, local employment facilitation, and support services. The formation of investors and entrepreneurs and creation of enterprise has components of legal counseling and mentoring and trainings and assistance, financial assistance. So these are the trainings: financial literacy, financial awareness seminar, entrepreneur development training, small business development training, livelihood training, and these are the access to livelihood assistance and financing. There is a 10,000 livelihood assistance easily available for the returnees, for them to be able to start up their operation. A while ago, I saw that the one girl in the video would like to have money to buy sewing machine, and this one, we have a success story on this. They borrowed money. Oh no, this is not borrowed money. This is given free. 10,000 livelihood for livelihood. And so they start up a business using that sewing machine, and the employee, the worker is successfully producing sacks for rice, and that worker is supplying to the different market stalls for that. Okay, we have Balik Pinay, Balik Hanap Buhay programs for women migrants. This is a package of livelihood, skills training, and starter kits. There are also management of 2 billion reintegration loan fund, where that returnee can secure loan minimum of 300,000 to 2 million, so that they could start up with a big investment or to expand the existing business. And then we have this referral program, and to help the returnees find work immediately, linked to PhilJobNet and National Skills category. This is a job matching. This facilitates job matching of employers seeking for manpower resources and the workers seeking for employment. This facilitates that system. We have training for immediate employment. The worker may be trained, may be given appropriate training for skills that are being required or having a high rate of employability at that time. And we have support services in the form of mentors and the integration resource centers, where they could seek advices during the stage of their business. So I would like to mention the success story of, with your permission, of these two workers. These two workers, Clemente Manrique is a contract worker, land-based contract worker in Saudi Arabia. His employer is producing fine bone china. But later, the company closed and he went home jobless. But he did not give up. From the initial savings that he has from his overseas employment, he borrowed additional money from Overseas Workers Welfare Administration, and he put up his own company. What he produced? Fine bone china, because he acquired his skills from his employment. Okay, now he is a handmade fine bone china exporter, and he provided employment for his other friends and neighbors. And what. Florentino Velasco is a seafarer for 5 years. He stopped boarding vessels flying international water, and he decided to put up his business of wood carving. Why wood carving? Because he hails from a community where the source of living is wood carving. So with his investment, he produced wood carving products, and he provided employment for his community. He's now a wood products exporter. So what we are doing now in our mission to preserve the decent jobs for the workers, we are enhancing our policies in order to protect the workers. We are revising the 2002 POA rules to make it more consistent with the existing laws to afford greater protection to workers. We are streamlining our rules on repatriation to exact accountability from those primarily responsible. We are strengthening inspection activities, not only to determine the compliance of private recruitment agencies' compliance with our rules, but also compliance with the general labor law standards and occupational safety of their own employees. And we are establishing victim assistance programs to encourage reporting and prosecution of recruitment violations. With that, I thank you for your attention, and good morning.